Before time began, before the foundations of the earth were laid, heaven was filled with light. It was a realm where God's glory radiated in unbroken harmony, a tapestry of infinite majesty. Among the angels stood one of extraordinary beauty and power. He was the seal of perfection, full of wisdom and flawless in beauty. His name was Lucifer, the light bringer, the morning star. Brilliant, radiant, and wise beyond all creation, he walked in the very presence of God, bathed in the fiery stones of the Almighty's sanctuary. For eons, he praised and served. Yet gazing upon his own splendor, pride stirred in his heart. A seed of rebellion took root in the soil of his vanity. He looked at the throne of the Creator and began to question the absolute authority of the divine. In the silent corridors of his mind, a treasonous thought echoed.
Why should he alone reign?
His words, carried by the wind of eternity, planted the first seeds of doubt. He spoke of autonomy, of ascending above the stars of God, of sitting enthroned on the Mount of Assembly. And those who were captivated by his blinding beauty and brilliant intellect, mighty cherubim and seraphim, the warriors of heaven, listened. They joined him in defiance. It is said that his army numbered thousands upon thousands, a third of the stars of heaven, a force of unparalleled majesty, poised to challenge the indestructible throne of God. Heaven itself trembled as the first conflict of wills ignited. Lucifer's army was unlike anything mortal minds could comprehend. They were warriors of incomparable skill and strength, yet their radiant beauty now hid a suffocating darkness. It was a darkness that could never sustain life, only rebellion. The morning star led his army with overwhelming charisma and strategy, promising freedom from God's order. But God's justice is eternal. No rebellion can endure before his throne. Michael, the great prince and archangel, rose as the commander of heaven's loyal forces. The heavens became a battlefield, not of earthly weapons, but of pure divine energy. God's sovereign will clashing with pride and envy. The clash shook the cosmos, light against darkness, loyalty against ambition, divine purpose against the ultimate pride. But the creature cannot defeat the Creator. Lucifer, dazzling and terrifying, was shattered by the breath of the Almighty. He was cast down, and with him fell his army, angels who had once sung the praises of God, now condemned to the shadows. They were stripped of their heavenly posts, cast down to walk the earth as watchers of corruption and instigators of sin. Humanity would later know them as demons, servants of the fallen morning star, always at war with the light, yet completely powerless before God's ultimate authority. Even in exile, Lucifer's twisted brilliance remains. For millennia, his voice has tempted kings and nations. His cunning influences the hearts of men, and his invisible army seeks to deceive, divide, and dominate. Yet every act of his defiance is contained. Every wicked plan is ultimately foiled by the invisible hand of God. For the Almighty is sovereign. Even the morning star himself, with all his ancient power, is on a leash. He cannot escape the final judgment. This story is a warning and a profound revelation. Pride, ambition, and rebellion, even among the highest of beings, cannot stand before the glory of God. Lucifer's fall reminds us that beauty, power, and knowledge without obedience become absolute destruction, but humanity, though vulnerable, is never abandoned. For God's angels guard, protect, and execute his will, even against the fiercest opposition of hell. Even now, Lucifer's army prowls unseen, but their defeat is certain. The morning star was cast down, but the throne of God remains unshaken. Every fallen angel, every temptation, every whisper of pride exists under God's command, even in their rebellion. His light cannot be overcome, His justice is perfect, and His plan will prevail. Look to the skies and imagine the glory of what was lost and the limitless power of what remains. The morning star, radiant and brilliant, still roams the shadows. Yet all things, in heaven and on earth, are under God's sovereignty. The universe itself bears witness. Heaven's loyalty, the weight of sin, and the victory of God are eternal. If you believe that God reigns supreme over every power of darkness, if you know that His light can never be extinguished and that even the morning star is powerless before the King of Kings, type Amen in the comments below. Let the world know who holds your soul. Type Amen in the comments. Subscribe and share to spread the light.